So certain members of Congress are worried about the fact that the president didn't tip them off ahead of time that he was going to unleash this attack. Maybe the president didn't want the enemy to know it was coming. Leaks, Congress, they sort of go together. That said, whatever happened to people being charged with actual treason? So let me see if I've got this straight, if I'm following the logic of the liberal left and the mainstream media. For 3 years, President Trump has been considered a threat because he doesn't know how to handle foreign entities, foreign problems. He didn't immediately declare war on Russia. He didn't declare war on Syria. Why the idea of pulling our troops out of Iraq, why, you can't do this. He doesn't know what he's doing. And so now he does a military response to the fact that we have lost lives yet again. We have had everything from our embassies attacked to continual attacks on American military personnel, a proxy war from Iran through the terrorist groups which we have been fighting with in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and we take out one of the orchestrators behind that, and now everybody flips. Everybody who just 24, 48 hours ago was all hawkish for Trump needed to be at war with Russia, needed to be at war with Syria, needed to be at war with somebody. And now that he has taken out an absolutely vile, reprehensible individual that by all accounts, and even the liberals have had concede the ground, that yes, over the last 10 to 15 years, this general has been the mastermind and the planner behind attacks on our military all over that region. And he's worked through Syria, and he's helped to prop up Assad, and all of these things that we know that he has done. And Trump rids the world of him. And now Trump is the bad guy. They just can't bring themselves to say this was the right thing to do. And on the flip side, we have people like Rand Paul who are criticizing this maneuver and saying that if the president truly wants to end these endless wars, these drone strikes have got to stop. Well, time out, Rand. All of us are sick and tired of these endless wars. The regime change policy that we have had under previous administrations has been an abject failure, and it is exactly why we have the problems over in the Middle East that we have right now. America should have stayed out of it long ago. We wanted that precious oil in the ground. Nobody wants to talk about that. We did. We did. And now that we're becoming energy independent on our own, that oil on the ground isn't so important, and all of these failed policies that we've had to put in leaders and regimes to benefit America, and all it has made them do over there is hate us even more, and the fact that a lot of these conflicts go back to their hatred of Israel, our defense of Israel, but again, the land that Israel sits on is theirs. God gave it to them. He didn't give it to Palestinians. He didn't give it to radical Islamic Muslims. Sorry, it ain't their land. It belongs to Israel. And the more we try to get in the middle of it, and we're going to broker peace, it just goes up in flames every time. Every regime change has worked against us. It has never worked for us. That said, the president was in process of pulling troops out. And yet, they want to keep sticking and provoking. I know what they thought. They'd get a plane with some cash on it, like Barack Obama did. That they'd get John Kerry to go over there, and who knows what he promised them behind closed doors. It's never been fully disclosed what John Kerry was doing over there. And now we have people not just openly disagreeing with the president, but committing outright treason. Now it begins simply enough. Pre-attack, Opie, Ron Howard, the has-been child actor turned movie director, Ron Howard had a few things to share about Donald Trump and the fact that he just doesn't feel that everything from his foreign policy to his presidency, none of it is right for America. Many in the entertainment industry who have known and worked with Trump think that while his reality show was fun and ran a long time, he's a self-serving, dishonest, morally bankrupt egomaniac who doesn't care anything or anyone but his fame and bank account, and he's hustling the U.S. Exactly what is it that makes Opie Taylor, Richie Cunningham, an expert on foreign policy and what's right for America? That said, Andrew Pollock, just a dad who happens to be the father to one of the 17 victims that was killed at the Parkland shooting in Florida. Andrew Pollock had something to say to Ron Howard. Pollock tweeted, "Let's see, Ron. President Trump gave up his billion-dollar lifestyle to save the country. President Trump donates his entire salary. President Trump was loved by Hollywood before he became a Republican. What are you going to do when he wins again in 2020? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I said it in a previous video. These people loved Donald Trump until they hated him. They wanted to be at his parties. They wanted to be at Mar-a-Lago. They wanted to have photo ops with him and be on camera with him. And they certainly wanted his money. I wouldn't even doubt if Ronnie Howard himself didn't somehow hit the Donald up for some money to finance one of his film projects. That'd be something interesting to look into. But there's a difference between having that type of back and forth disagreement. Then you get people from Hollywood, like Rose McGowan, who actually comes out and commits treason. Dear Iran, the U.S. has disrespected your country, your flag, your people. 52% of us humbly apologize. We want peace with your nation. We are being held hostage by a terrorist regime. We do not know how to escape. Please don't kill us." Are they really this pathetically stupid in Hollywood, especially on the liberal left? I'll answer that. Yes, they are. Let's get off this subject for 1 minute and let's change up the scenario a little bit. Because we know Hollywood is all about women's rights and they're all against Me Too and they don't want to be treated like sex objects and equal pay and yada, 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 yada. You think the radicals over in the Middle East agree in equal pay and treatment for women? You think they're part of the sexual revolution that Shazam, Batman, they just understood that there are 4,000 years of living like barbarians and having the genitalia of their 12-year-old girls sewn shut and making them, cover their faces when they go out in public. Why? We've been wrong. These ridiculously stupid, on one level, liberals that bend over backwards to not want to make our enemies mad at us, yet those enemies engage in the very behavior which they say they're standing up for justice and equality here in this country against the sexist pigs. And a General Soleimani and all of his rape caves and rape dens and everything else that they do to women over there, that lines up with your ideology? That's okay? And you do understand that if you capitulate to these people, if they were to ever actually come into power and overtake the United States, you do know that you, on the liberal left, you do know that you are the first to go, right? You've studied enough history to understand that's how it's going to work. You know they're going to just absolutely be done, good riddance with you. Remember, you're part of that great Satan that is corrupting their culture. So keep that in mind. But what Rose McGowan did is outright treason. To actually say to our enemy, we want to be liberated from this president. It's like saying, come over and help us. Come over and help us. Why is she not in jail right now? Why is she not facing a military tribunal right now? She committed an act of treason. Bernie Sanders committed treason in calling this president an assassin. You have the alleged news host over at PMSNBC, Chris Hayes, actually saying on the air on Friday, there is no reason to take President Trump's word over Iran. Are you kidding me? And this guy's still on the air? And then there is the failed, ex-disgraced NFL quarterback, Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick tweeted, "There is nothing new about American terrorist attacks against black and brown people for the expansion of American imperialism." Yeah, Colin, but you would love to be exploited by white man so that you can go back to basically being a less than average, fairly mediocre quarterback and make millions and millions of dollars playing a child's game, all to entertain white people. You know, this canard, this fallacy of everything is about racism, and that President Trump took out General Soleimani and our entire military complex is about suppressing brown people. Give me a break. This is over the pale. It's over the top. And Kaepernick, for the record, you're a scumbag. You're an absolute scumbag. We don't want continual, perpetual war. But at the same token, those that claim they want us gone, as Iraq has voted in their parliament that our troops need to go, we want to be gone. Stop committing acts of terror that force us to stay. You know, it would seem to me if you were smart, you would behave so that we would leave. And trust me, once we're gone, other than making sure Israel is protected, I couldn't give a care what all of you people over there do to one another. You have a 4th century barbaric mindset, period. I don't know why we waste any time in that sandbox over there. It is beyond me. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Walk away or go all in. And by all in, I mean level that place, turn it back into just nothing but sand, and let God or evolution, depending on what your theological persuasion is, let them sort it out, redo it, and start it over. Maybe this time they can get it right. Maybe this time we'll get a group of people out of that region that actually thinks in the 21st century, actually knows how to sit down and reason together, rather than just continually perpetuate war and barbarism. But then again, that's Islam, the religion of peace. That said, these acts of outright treason now against this president are beyond the pale. I don't want perpetual war. I have a child in the United States military. I don't want them placed in harm's way. But I also understand that even the Bible says, live peaceably with all men. Finish the verse. As is possible. What does that mean, Pastor? It means there are just individuals who will not let you live in peace. Paying extortion, secret deals with John Kerry have all failed. So now, they have continually burned our flag, desecrated our way of life, our nation, our ideals. Got it. And we are a big reason why they hate us, because of our interference over there. Got that. But they should have let us withdraw and leave. They want to keep sticking it to us. They want to keep daring us. Well, you know, there comes a point. Don't cry about the thunder and lightning when you've been praying for rain. They're getting the thunder and lightning, the shock and awe, and they brought it on themselves. That's it for this little rant on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure you smack the bell for notification of all of my little rants on here. Come and visit us over at our other channel, and don't forget my new book, it's coming.